Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye is a historical fantasy set in an alternate version of Imperial Russia, following two enchanters who must play the Crown's Game, a duel of magical skill where the winner will become the Tsar's most trusted advisor. Okay, you guys, I definitely have some thoughts on The Crown's Game. Let's get this out of the way. I want to start with the positives. For the most part, I did really like this book. There's just something about it that I still found really good and fascinating. And, I mean, for God's sake, the premise, you guys, there's so many check marks there for me personally. It takes place in Imperial Russia, which I love, and it has something to do with, this magic-based system, which I also love. So I love that combination of historical fantasy. And I don't think Evelyn Skye's writing is bad by any means. I think she definitely has her own kind of unique way of writing, way at looking at things, and I definitely did like the characters for the most part. My problems with this book overall, it's all due to the fact that I think a lot of the story was executed in a way that wasn't particularly satisfying. So let's talk about the historical aspect of this story, just to kind of get you all into the setting. Like I said, it's historical fantasy, takes place in an alternate version of Imperial Russia. The novel opens up in 1825 under the reign of Tsar Alexander I. He is married to Tsarina Elizabeth, and unlike history, in real life, Tsar Alexander I, he had some, I think he had some children when I was doing my research, but he had no surviving children, meaning that by the time he died, he had no surviving heirs to take his place. So what the alternative version of history is here in this book that Evelyn Skye does, she gives Tsar Alexander I and his wife, she gives them two children, the oldest being Pasha, who is destined to become the next Tsar of Russia, and then also Pasha's sister, Yuliana. So you have the historical setting, and then you have the fantastical setting, and like I said, magic exists in this world, and it comes in the form of people known as enchanters. And the thing that you have to know early on in the book, the last enchanter to the Tsar, that enchanter died during the Napoleonic Wars, and the Tsar really wants to have another enchanter, especially for the day when his son Pasha becomes the next Tsar. So we have two enchanters roaming about, and in this world, if there's more than one enchanter, that's when the Crown's Game is opened up, and it's basically this test or duel of magical skill, and whoever wins, they become the Tsar's enchanter. And it's almost kind of Hunger Games-esque, if you will. It's a battle to the death. So as far as the enchanters go, we're introduced to Vika and Nikolai. So yeah, sounds good, right? This whole thing is so captivating, and it starts off pretty captivating, I gotta say. I was on board immediately. I wanted to see where all of this was going. But this is where the novel kind of starts to fall apart, you guys. Probably less than halfway through, it kind of starts to fall apart because Evelyn Skye, she falls back on young adult tropes. And what I mean by that is that we have a love cube introduced. Not just a love triangle, you guys, a love cube. The thing is, the love cube wouldn't have been frustrating had Evelyn Skye just fleshed out these characters more. And I think the problem of this book is that it's too short. I think it really needed a couple hundred more pages, to be quite honest, in order to flesh out the world building, flesh out these characters a bit more, because there's such an intriguing story deep down in there, and these characters themselves are pretty interesting as well, but Evelyn Skye just doesn't do enough with the characters. She doesn't do enough with the world building. She doesn't do enough that's satisfactory, I guess. So yeah, we have the young adult trope of a love cube, the trope of insta-love. And you know, the thing is, the insta-love might not have been a problem for me had Evelyn Skye just built up the world building, like I said, you know, because at least if the love cube, if it would have got really dark and angsty, the thing is, if the world building was better, the world building would have kind of covered up some of that dramatic angst, if that makes sense. But yeah, as far as the magical world building goes, the magic depicted in this world, it is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty cool when it does happen, but in some ways it's almost kind of lackluster. And the thing is, if you've read things like The Night Circus, Harry Potter, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, you know, those 3 books have captivating, amazing, stunning, magical world building, and I don't think The Crown's Game ever quite reaches that level. So just to talk about the characters a tiny bit more, kind of focusing on the love cube, I suppose. The thing is, even if you do get frustrated with the love cube, the one relationship that I think Evelyn Skye does really, really well is the friendship between Pasha and Nikolai. Pasha, like I said, being the next heir to the throne, and Nikolai being one of the Enchanters. And I love their relationship. So well done, so believable. They've been friends for an incredibly long time, but they're both hiding secrets from one another, especially Nikolai, you know, because Nikolai has never downright told his friend that he's an enchanter and that he is currently playing the Crown's Game. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say, I think Evelyn Skye should have done away with the love cube. I've not even mentioned the 4th person in this love cube, because I've mentioned Pasha and Nikolai and Vika, but there's also Renata, who is like a servant who works for Nikolai. So yeah, you have all those 4 characters, but I think Evelyn Skye should have done away with the love triangle. Maybe just had a couple different pairings, you know what I mean? Just focus on a couple pairings instead of all of the characters tied in with one another in that awkward way. Or no romance at all, you know? I mean, I could see that as an option as well, no romance. So overall, this review probably sounds like I hated this book, but like I said at the start of this video, I actually did really like the book in some aspects. It's just a lot of it is not really executed in the manner that I think it could have been executed in. So yeah, the story itself is seriously pretty awesome, okay? And I mean, the whole idea of the Crown's Game is pretty badass. The thing is though, the Crown's Game, it sounds badass, but it wasn't really as badass as I was expecting, because yeah, you get all the lovey-doveyness coming in with the love cube, and the thing is, I also never really felt a sense of danger or urgency. Like I was even saying in the synopsis, this is a game of magical skill to the death. And it's like these 2 characters, they sometimes never really seemed like they were in a hurry, you know? It's like they knew they were kind of maybe doomed to die if they didn't, you know, do this game, but it's like they never really showed that urgency. So yeah, I do obviously recommend this book for young adult readers, especially if you want to get into some more historical fantasy, perhaps. And you know, even though I sit and complain about some of the tropes going on in this book, you know, the one good thing about this type of book is that it's a great gateway for younger readers to get into this sort of history, you know what I mean? And apparently there is a 2nd book in the works. I did enjoy this book enough that I would like to pick up a 2nd book. So I guess we'll just have to see how that goes. So have you guys read The Crown's Game? What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you want to read it in the future? Just let me know down below. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.